Hello, welcome to Fred on Film, or FOF for short. If you're watching on YouTube, go have a listen on Spotify, Apple Music. I updated my bio recently. Go check that out. You know, the little subtext that comes below the podcast. I'm thinking about updating my logo and everything. God, it's just really kicking off. I'm just really seeing the numbers like creeping up, and I'm really feeling like more response, and I feel like people are finally accepting that I have other facets to my life beyond going, darling, what's happening? And that's just a really nice feeling. And I'm really enjoying building a little community. So yeah, go listen to Spotify, Apple Podcasts. I also have Apple Music, and it's on YouTube as well. You can see me on my big giant orange sofa. Today we are going to be talking about Jurassic Rebirth, and as a prefix to that, the Odyssey trailer. If you can hear that beep, that's my microwave finishing. I hope that doesn't cool down before I finish this. Let's make it a snappy one, eh? Yeah, the Odyssey trailer, which is the new trailer for the Chris Nolan movie coming out July next year. I guess the reason why it might be a good idea to keep it snappy is because I don't want to waste your time like I just wasted my time with Jurassic Rebirth. And I was going to do a Scarlet Johansson FOFSCAs, which is, FOFSCAs is, if you don't know, awarding alternative awards to someone or something's filmography. But I'm not going to fucking do that because I just don't think that this movie deserves any more of your, or crucially, my time. So I want to touch on first the Odyssey trailer. Chris Nolan likes to attach the first teaser for his movies to, in this case, a Universal distributed movie. Previously, it was, Warner Brothers he was with. Now he's with Universal. So same with Oppenheimer. A year before it comes out, he'll attach a teaser. It'll be absolutely fucking banging, and it'll barely tell you anything. And so, like, we've talked in the past about, like, avoiding trailers, not watching trailers. Nolan trailers I always watch because you just know that he's got creative control over those trailers. And I'm not worried about him showing me anything I shouldn't see, don't want to see. And I trust him to just simply tease me, as a teaser should do. And so I actually didn't watch the leaked like 260p fucking trailer that had gone online this morning. And by the way, I'm reviewing this straight after coming out of the cinema. This is the first snap review I've ever done of a movie. But yeah, so I went to the cinema early to go and see the Odyssey trailer in the cinema, Dolby Atmos, View West End, Screen 5, Seat B9, if you want to go sniff it. And because I wanted to experience it in that situation. I absolutely fucking love this trailer. I think this is so fucking exciting. This is Nolan stepping out into new realms again. So he hits us with like Batman. You know, he can do superhero movies. He hits us with Prestige. He can do kind of like fantasy sci-fi. It's kind of a period piece. He hits us with Inception. That is like full sci-fi. Hits us with Interstellar. That's like fucking space exploration sci-fi. It's even a completely different facet of sci-fi. He hits us with Dunkirk, war movie. He hits us with Oppenheimer, like a drama, like just a straight up adult drama. And now he's coming at us with Odyssey, or The Odyssey, I think it might be called, which is not only a period piece, but an ancient story that has massive elements of fantasy to it. So we've seen him do things that involve unrealistic things happening, like fucking buildings folding on each other in Inception and falling through black holes in Interstellar and stuff. But I think other than maybe the Prestige, arguably, I think this is the only time we've had... Well, the Prestige is nowhere near this level of fantasy, don't get me wrong. But in terms of touching on fantasy, this is the first time Nolan's like really gone deep in that. Because from the little that I know about the story of Homer's Odyssey, I think we're getting like fucking sea creatures and krakens and shit. Like, I think it's a crazy... I mean, the title says it all. I think it is a crazy Odyssey with all sorts of random shit going on. And this trailer showcases incredibly, the most amazing thing about this trailer is not that it shows that Nolan can do fantasy in a grounded, adult way, and for the hats and the suits and the helmets and whatever and the beards and the whatever to not look silly. But it's that Tom Holland isn't fucking shit in the trailer. And fair enough, he's only got 3 or 4 lines, but I can already tell from Tom Holland's 3 or 4 lines that he's not shit. Look, Tom Holland, if you're watching, nothing personal, mate, but I just really don't think that you have capitalized on the promise that you showed when you were a brilliant child actor in The Impossible. I think you've gone on to suggest that you can't do roles if you're not doing an American accent, like you said on Graham Norton once. You can do Spider-Man very well, but you struggle to break out. I don't know, I'm talking talking directly to Tom Holland now. You struggle to break out of that kind of like childish, upbeat like persona when you do other more dramatic roles. And you've also tried to do other blockbusters like Uncharted, and it just has not fucking landed. So I'm just sat here thinking, does Tom Holland really have the juice? He's been given a break by Nolan here. Nolan must have seen something that maybe I haven't. Maybe Nolan has more filmmaking chops than me. And it looks like in this movie, Tom Holland is going to be doing a pretty stellar performance, and that is so relieving to me. I guess it's quite mad to be saying that after a 20-second clip, but when you just get a feeling, because I know full well I get a feeling of the opposite when I see Tom Holland usually. Again, nothing personal. Also, in this trailer, there's Jon Bernthal. I'm sorry if I got that name wrong, but I'm pretty sure the name is Jon Bernthal, who is just one of those that guys who's in so many things. He was in The Accountant 2 recently. He's in so many things, and he's so good at playing kind of a villain that you root for or a hero that has some edge. Like he really straddles that fence a lot with his characters, and I absolutely love it. What was that Jeremy Renner film set in the middle of nowhere? And he was a brilliant villain in that. I'm going to just Google him. I don't tend to like to do this on the podcast, but yeah, Jon Bernthal is in Ford versus Ferrari. What was the one he was in, though, that I really fucking liked? Oh, my God. Oh, fuck. I've just wasted your time. I'm so sorry. Anyway, I'm a big fan of Jon Bernthal, and he's front and center in this trailer, so I'm excited to find that maybe he's front and center of the movie. Who we don't hear from is Matt Damon. We have some shots of him walking. We have a long tracking shot of him sleeping on a door in the middle of the sea. No space for Jack, though, as usual. And I just, like I say, I think Nolan's brilliant at cutting trailers. I'm so excited by this trailer. The trailer finished and I was like, bloody hell, Nolan's going to do it again, isn't he? He's going to foray into another genre. He's going to absolutely smash it. And he's going to make $1 billion, and he's going to entertain us all again. And I do not want to get to being 70, 80 years old and look back and think, did I appreciate this Nolan era? You could even say this Nolan Villeneuve era, right? Villeneuve doing the Dune movies, moving on to Bond soon. Like, I don't want to look back and be like, I didn't live that. I didn't acknowledge what was happening when it was happening. Like imagine in the 70s, you were there, you were, in your 20s when like Star Wars is coming out, Jaws is coming out, Spielberg moves on to do like fucking Indiana Jones, E.T. And like, we're living that now. Like that historic, like cultural impact, consistent run from directors in their absolute prime is happening right now, similar to the Star Wars, the Jaws, all that era of Coppola and Lucas and Spielberg. That's happening fucking now with Nolan and Villeneuve and Greta Gerwig, and you could arguably say a few more. And I'm enjoying this. I'm going to enjoy this. We get Nolan's just like pumping out a film every, 3 years? Yeah, the 4 years. Just religiously pumping them out, bum, 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 and we just get to live in this world. Like, how lucky are we? He's just giving us. Here's another one, and it's gonna slap. It's gonna fucking slap. And even if it doesn't slap, even if it doesn't absolutely slap, there will always be quality in there. You will never waste your money buying a ticket to a Villeneuve or a Nolan or a Gerwig film. Like, you will just never, ever. That is such a esteemed place to be as a filmmaker, and like I want to appreciate that in the moment, and I cannot wait for this time next year. The hype begins now. Okay, we're going to move on to Jurassic Rebirth. Sip of my tea, which has gone cold, and now the food in the microwave is going cold. Fantastic. Dribbled it all over myself. Even better. Let's fucking go. So like I say, I actually don't want to waste your time too much with this Jurassic Rebirth review. Look, I don't know if you're a massive Jurassic fan or not, but what does that even mean now? That's kind of an overarching question here. Does a Jurassic Park fan mean that you are a parent who likes taking their kids to Jurassic Park films? Perfectly valid. Does that mean you're just an adult without children who has enjoyed the entire franchise through Jurassic Park Lost World, Jurassic Park 3, the Jurassic World series, and then now Rebirth? Fair enough. Or are you just someone who loves the first film and is a little bit baffled as to how we're still releasing these movies? That's where I am. I don't think there's another category which is you didn't even like the first film. Does that person even exist? So I'm that last person. I'm the person who, the first Jurassic Park is an all-time classic, directed by a powerhouse, all-time, possibly best ever director in the absolute prime of their career. In the same year he directed Jurassic Park, handed off the editing to George Lucas because he had to go do Schindler's List, bro. And this was before the bloke was just about to do Saving Private Ryan in 97. And he'd just done Last Crusade, I think it was. Like, Spielberg, this was the peak, Jurassic Park. And it was that good that it's birthed a franchise of, 7 more movies? Am I getting that right? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 7 more movies. Yeah. Just off the back of the first one being so good. And even he tried to do another one. And even he couldn't hit the heights that he himself had got that year with Jurassic Park, with that script and that cast. He was firing on all cylinders. And yet here we are. It's 2025. Put my phone on Do Not Disturb because it's fucking buzzing. It's 2025, and we have our 8th Jurassic Park film. I'm sorry if it's 7, it might be 7. I think it's 8. 8th Jurassic Park film. And I wouldn't have normally gone to see this because I checked out just before Dominion, which I think was the last one of the Jurassic World movies. But I've gone to see this because I owe it to you guys to take this fucking flack and stop you going to see this. We had a bit of a rant about F1 last week and my problems with F1. This is worse than that. Let me just say that. Because I've come into this with this anxiety of like, I'm ranting about a lot of films recently. I'd like you to know that I don't just enjoy disliking films. I really don't. Like, I don't want to do a podcast where I'm just like, fuck this and fuck that. Like, it's a film podcast. I want to celebrate film. I want films to make money and do well. I also want films to be good. And I didn't rant about 28 years. Everyone else did. I liked that. Not everyone else. I'm sure you liked it too, but, all the other people. My first note is I'm sad to see this happen to this franchise. Like, how have we got to this point? So apparently, the reason why we got to this point, I've heard, is that Universal have this IP and they didn't have a big tentpole summer release for 2025. And so they managed to scrape together a script by David Koepp, who wrote the first movie, by the way, scrape together an all-star cast and film, edit, finalize, distribute, release Jurassic World Rebirth within, it seems like 18 months in order to secure a summer tentpole blockbuster release. So the intentions already are not. I've heard that from a reputable source. It's one of my favorite podcasts called The Town. Matt Bellany presents The Town. He is a big player in Hollywood, and he basically reports on like the stories about Hollywood that you might not hear about through the regular media. And it's not a conspiracy podcast. He's very informed. He gets very informed guests. And that's what he said, is that Jurassic World Rebirth was cobbled together in 18 months in order to suit this summer release, right? That's the first problem. The intentions aren't there. And even though David Koepp, who wrote the first movie, writes this movie, the quality is not there. The love is not there. Nothing is there. Let's get into it. Nothing is grounded. And that comes down to the effects. So the heritage of Jurassic Park as a franchise is grounded practical effects from the very first movie. Nothing in this movie gets even close to the grounded, visceral effect of the practical effects in the first movie. I don't know if they even did any practical effects in this movie. If they did, they're terribly blended in to what is an absolute cataclysm of plastic, flat CGI. I don't care for any of the characters. So, and also the developing of those characters is not patient. So, by the way, if you want to know the synopsis to this film, just fucking Google it, okay? They have to go back to the island for some fucking reason. We'll come on to that. They're on a boat. They get there. Shit happens. Whatever. I don't care for any of the characters. The first film is patient in setting up the characters, the dynamics between those characters, why they're all there, and how those dynamics play out over the course of this catastrophe that they experience on the island. Not only are all these characters not seemingly there for any good reason in this movie, but I don't care about any of them. They are so thinly written. They are classic paint-by-numbers, blockbuster action movie characters. Which brings me on to the other point. Why the fuck are there's a family in this movie. There's a dad, and this is a spoiler review. If you're listening to this, you don't want to hear spoilers, stop listening. This is a spoiler review. There's a dad, and there's 3 kids. They're there because they're rescued in another incident on the boat that Scarlet Johansson's on, that's heading to the island with dinosaurs on it. They do not try and drop this family off. They do not even think about dropping this family off. They skip over it, take the family and this very, very young girl to the island. Now, let's say you get over that. You can get past that, whatever. The plot is fucking farcical. The things that this family do, for example, there's one point where they're being attacked by 3 underwater dinosaurs. And I am not even going to try and explain to you why. But if I were just to tell you that the dad and the 3 kids jump off the boat deliberately into the dinosaur-infested waters, that's in the first act, right? There are other plot points in this that are absolutely farcical. The characters are not well drawn enough, just going back to that point. So Jonathan Bailey doing an American accent for absolutely no reason. Could have done an English accent. The American accent is shoddy. That's fucking annoying. Jonathan Bailey is like kind of a bumbling paleontologist who is taken to this island in order to give animal advice, like behavioral observations, right? And to help them get samples that they're going to get. Again, Google it if you want to fucking know the synopsis. I'm so annoyed about this film. And Jonathan Bailey is abseiling. He has to abseil down a cliff in order to get a sample from an egg. This character, who previously was terrified to even go to the island, and there's a funny, well, quote unquote, funny scene where he's like crunching on a mint for way too long as he stresses about whether he should go to this island in the face of Mahershala Ali and Scarlett Johansson, who are begging him to go. And so that character is then forced to abseil down a cliff to get a sample from an egg. That needed a character beat of like, this is scary to me. Not one beat. He just actually hangs over the edge of the cliff. He's kind of acting a little bit kind of, but then he just does it. Bro, if I'm abseiling down a cliff, I'm scaredy cat, right? First of all, I'm probably not. basically the peril. There's no peril in this movie. And the characters who should be feeling peril more than others, because Jonathan Bailey is a bumbling paleontologist, Scarlett Johansson is a badass, don't even show it. Well, I'm not feeling any fear like they do in the first movie. I'm relating it back to the first movie. Fair enough, it's an all-time classic. Is that unfair? But it is part of the same fucking franchise, so it's not that out there really to relate it back, is it? And on that same point, the character's not drawn correctly. There's like this point and shoot style action blockbuster movie comedy that is way too prevalent nowadays, and I blame Marvel. So back in the 80s, you would obviously have these like wisecracking leads in action movie comedies like, the 90s, but Speed, Keanu Reeves, or John McClane in Die Hard in the 80s, where it'd be like, in the wisecracking action movie lead, right? That makes sense. What has alienated it into? What's the word? What is that like? What's that word where it means like developed but into something bad? Anyway, what that has developed into through Marvel is lead action blockbuster characters making quips just for the sake of making quips, even if it doesn't fit their character. So any character in this movie can make those types of bland quips, and it doesn't matter because they can retrofit them to any character, because the characters are not, the dialogue is not coming from the character, it's coming from the writer towards the blockbuster audience of like, hey, here's a point to laugh. But I tell you what, no one was fucking laughing. The cinema was deathly silent and quite full on an afternoon, I must say. I've never felt a cinema with less tension, okay? So the type of comedy I'm talking about is, I don't know if you remember I think it's Rise of Skywalker, but it might be Force Awakens. Might even be Last Jedi, where Oscar Isaacs is flying on this like fucking pod, I don't even know what it is, and a stormtrooper uses a jetpacky-esque thing to like fly, and John Boyega, I think, goes, "They fly now?" And Oscar Isaacs goes, "They fly now!" Right, and this is like a line that me and my mate quote back to each other as like the epitome of shit blockbuster comedy. And you might be saying, hey, Fred, that's not comedy, that's just a line. No, that is comedy. That is the exact type of comedy that Blockbuster trying to shoehorn in constantly. Just like a point and shoot at this point and say something about this thing. Oh, that doesn't look good. So there's so many lines like this and that in this. That doesn't look good. This doesn't sound good. That doesn't sound great. He doesn't sound very happy about dinosaurs growling. This doesn't look right to me. That's not very nice. That's not very helpful. There's so many lines like that, and it's not just one character who's like a wisecracky character. It's all the fucking characters. They're just fucking like saying these like bland vanilla lines as like a, hey, Blockbuster audience, you have a little laugh now, have a little giggle, wisecracks. It's the Captain Amerification of Blockbuster comedy, and I'm fucking sick of it. Plastic CGI, when he's abseiling, it looks fucking shit. There's no practical effects. Where is the heritage of Jurassic Park? Practical effects, none. The images are flat. Where are the shadows? I've written down. Everything, again, the Marvelification of Blockbuster. Where is the nuance to this image? There is quite a cool sequence towards the end where they're in this like defunct area of the island, and like a gas station fires up, and there's like neon lights, and there is at that point some like texture to the image because it's nighttime, and that's quite interesting visually, and there's some threat there. But in general, it's just fucking flat as fuck. Everything is lit to fuck. Everything is so fucking bright. You might be like, oh, they're on a tropical island. Of course it's going to be bright and lit. Yeah, I know. But you're also trying to tell a story. Like, do we not have impressionistic lighting involved? Like, are we just like, nah, fucking lit. Boom. Like, boom. Just fucking boom. Just fucking lit. And even if you do that, there's a way to do it that can tell a story in a more nuanced way. It just looks like they're on a volume because they probably were. They were probably on the LED volume. There was one point where two people got their phone out and I actually didn't even give a shit. I normally hate that shit. I was on row 2, so who knows what was happening behind me, because when I walked out, the cinema was pretty full, and it was full of like 18, 19-year-olds. 2 people got the phone out at the exact same point, about 2/3 through. Just check their texts. The other guy checked TikTok because I was having a little snoop. He was quite far away, but I could see he was on TikTok. And I was like, you know what, fair play. It is fucking boring. One positive, Scarlet Johansson, despite the shit dialogue that she's given, she does have charisma. And I was doubting that when I saw the trailer for this movie. I was like, oh, this looks shit. Why is she doing this? Blah, blah. And, fair enough. Why is she doing this? You would think she's better than this, but maybe the roles aren't out there for 40-plus-year-old women, and that's another issue that definitely needs to be addressed. And so maybe they're offering her a lot of money. Maybe she likes the franchise. Who knows? I don't want to second guess why she's there. I don't want to be cynical about why she's there. But you do think that, and I mean this as a compliment, she is better than this, right? She is better than this. But saying that, her performance is quite fun. So again, forgetting the shit dialogue, she has charisma is the key point. And I think that that's really important because, to be honest, this kind of like badass lead character in a blockbuster action is such a cliche. It kind of has to be there, but then it's annoying that it's there. And it is difficult, actually, to play that role with any sense of spark because it's been done so many times. The one who's good at shooting, basically. The mercenary. And she does it well. She does have charisma. In a similar way that you would say Emily Blunt could have maybe done the role. Like, I feel like, yeah, okay, I'm at least happy to watch her on screen. She's engaging. She's like, she's engaging to watch. She has charisma. The character is appealing to like be around. And Mahershala Ali too, very appealing character to be around. Just like decent guy, decently performed. Forgetting the plot around him and the dialogue around him. He again is a very charismatic guy that I like enjoy watching. So it's not all bad, and they are trying their best. On the CGI point, there was a point that I've noted down that was like, there's a point where, similar to the Velociraptor in the kitchen sequence in the first film, they tried to copy that sequence. There always has to be a silent stalking sequence in every Jurassic movie, right? And there's one in like a small shopping mall. And this dinosaur's stalking around the shopping mall, and a girl is scared. And we look underneath the shelving, and the dinosaur steps on a bottle of pop, and it pops, and this red fizzy liquid splurges out, and it's supposed to be like a analogy for like blood, right? But that just hit me as like, even that was CGI. So this foot, we don't see the rest of the dinosaur. This foot steps on a bottle of fizzy pop and it explodes, right? But the foot is CGI, the pop is CGI, and the liquid is CGI. And if it's not, if someone pulls me up on this, it looked like it was, and that's the problem. And even if you didn't think it looked like it was, the point is that I was so in too deep with the aesthetic of this movie that everything even felt plastic, right? So I'm caveating the caveat, but I'm pretty convinced that a foot stepping on a bottle of pop was CGI. And you think, oh, out of everything, that's probably something you could pretty easily do practically, right? Make a dinosaur foot, make it look scaly and slimy, and step it on a real bottle of pop so it pops in a real way. The way it popped was just fucking shit. It popped in like that uncanny valley, like we talked about last week, AI way, that I'm like, I just don't look right. And I know that's a small point, but like, it speaks to a wider issue of like, this whole film just does not feel tangible, grounded. And on that point, the dinosaurs look fucking ridiculous. So we're supposed to be going to an island where they were experimenting with dinosaurs when they built the first island in the first movie, and they were experimenting with crossbreeding dinosaurs, and that means we're going to get some fucked up like gargoyle dinosaurs, and we do, right? fucking annoys me, right? Fair enough, the first movie has a T-Rex and then they're trying to build on the T-Rex ever since. But we've just gone too far. The equivalent of the I wrote down, this is a kaiju movie. I think that's the word. I don't want to be... I don't want to like misrepresent that term. Yeah, this is a kaiju movie, right? A kaiju movie, a monster movie from the Japanese heritage of monster movies. This isn't a Jurassic Park movie, because if you think about it, Jurassic Park, the first movie, you could like broadly say it's a kaiju movie because it's massive dinosaurs, but it's not, is it? Right? It is slightly separate to that. A kaiju movie is an aesthetic that's very specific. A kaiju movie is Kong Skull Island, it's Godzilla, it's Pacific Rim. It's gigantic fantasy monsters bashing the shit out of each other and cities and people. The dinosaur that's the equivalent of the T-Rex in this movie, that's at the end of this movie, is a kaiju monster. It's fucking gigantic. It looks ridiculous, and it absolutely could never have existed on this planet in a hypothetical world where any of this could even be true, right? It's just insane. We're not in what in the first film was a grounded semi-reality of what might happen if we decoded the genome of the dinosaur and made it again. This is now completely beyond the pale. That we've jumped the shark. We've jumped the aquatic dinosaur. We are ridiculously over the hill kaiju fucking gargoyle T-Rex with lumps on its head, tiny arms, and fucking massive lats and thighs for days. That it's so big as a mountain. I can't tell you how big this is. Now I'm like, this is not why I signed up to Jurassic Park. I want to watch real people in a scientifically, broadly plausible situation of peril, right? This is not that. They look fucking ridiculous. I'd actually like some producers of these movies, if God forbid we make some more, I'd just like them to have some balls and put some fucking feathers on the things. You know, like how we found that some dinosaurs might have feathers because birds are derived from dinosaurs. Put some fucking feathers on them. Like, have some fucking balls and put some feathers on them. Like, because it's like that game where you like pass a sheet of paper down and everyone writes another line of the story and you can't see the full story until you open up the full piece of paper. Did anyone play that when they were younger? Forgotten what that's called, right? It's like we've iterated on the iteration. Boom, 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 boom. Now the 8th time. This is a fucking freakish fucking... Oh, again, what is that word? Like a development of something that's bad. What is it? Like a freakish... Frankenstein, right? Of the original. We've gone so far, and you can track the thread back, but if you were look at number 1, number 8, the step that we have taken is a Jurassic step. It is gigantic. So this literally could be a Kong movie. It could be Kong Skull Island, part 2 with dinosaurs. Like, it's ridiculous. Mahershala Ali's... I'll come on to that in a second. So I've put Spielberg pulled off magic with the first one at the very top of his game, as discussed. It cannot be repeated. We've tried 7 times. Let's stop now. Stop the franchise. Not rebirth. Death. Over. Finito. Done. Do not make another one. I always want movies to succeed because I want cinemas to succeed. But I think for the greater good, I kind of hope this one doesn't make its money back. But by the looks of the cinema today, it will. Because it was... I don't know how this movie is... I don't know how this franchise has got so much cultural cachet still, after, in my opinion, 6 bad movies after the first one. Barring a few high points, I admit. I know there's some good bits in Lost World and blah, 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 good bits in Jurassic World, but essentially. But I think it will probably make its money back and more, but I kind of hope it doesn't. We need to fucking finish this. And the worst of all, Mahershala Ali's character is called Duncan, which is the worst name for an action movie character of all time. Duncan. 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 Hey, Duncan. Oh, Duncan. Oh my God, Duncan, there's a dinosaur. Dunk, watch out, Dunk. There's a dinosaur behind you. Hey, D. Giant dinosaur just about to eat your face off. Duncan. David Cap, make up a better name. Make up a better name for a badass boat captain who kills dinosaurs. Duncan. So I thought, let's rank the Jurassic movies, okay? So we've got number 1, Jurassic Park. Number 2, the fucking rest of them. Let me be clear about that. Number 1, Jurassic Park. Number 2, the rest! Stop this. We made one all-time great. A movie for the ages that will be watched for years and years and years. One of the all-time great movies. That was so good. We have spawned 7 movies after that. And more or less, again, you can caveat some things in certain movies. They're all fucking shit. Stop! I haven't rated this on Letterboxd yet. I give F1 a 2.5 star, and I liked F1 a lot more than this. I might be giving this a 1.5. I might be giving this a 2. At most. I think this is tragic. I think it's tragic what has happened to the first movie. That's the end of this episode. I have another note here which just said Love Island slaps. Is anyone watching Love Island this year? I just do not watch it usually, but me and my darling heard wind that it was decent. We've put it on. It fucking slaps. It's so good. And I will not say more than that. Love Island fucking slaps this year. Get on it. Yeah, thanks for watching Fred Asquith on Film. Next week we'll be back with a Superman review probably, or maybe not. Not sure when I'm going to see it, but Superman review and all other things FOF. If you watch on YouTube, have a listen. Spotify, Apple Music, Apple Podcast. Fuck. And if you're listening, go have a watch on YouTube. Go look at my orange sofa. Thanks very much for joining me. At Fred Asquith on Film, TikTok, Instagram. I will see you next time. Bye.